Hi everybody, welcome back. In this video I'm going to demonstrate how you can do a budget version of an E-prom blower for the Heidenhain TNC 155. So we start off with this card here, shown here. Most of the modern home computers will not have the parallel port, and the cheaper E-prom blowing cards require you to have one. So this card I bought off Amazon Australia for about 25 Australian dollars, one-day delivery. You can see it's a PCIe. It comes with no information other than the web address shown. When you go there, you will find that there are drivers for Windows 11, which is the driver's only a few months old. And if you look down, it goes all the way back through all of the versions of Windows to Windows XP 7. And that is about when the PCI slots started appearing on home computers. You'll notice that half of it is vacant, not complemented. I suspect that's for a serial port as well, and they generally cost about twice as much. I don't recommend buying it because most of the motherboards have jumpers on them for a serial port, and then if you bought it complemented, you'd have two that might well fight each other for no. So there's no good reason to go for the more expensive version. You'll also notice that it has the shorter pin arrangement on it, the PCIe ×1, and most motherboards would have them vacant. Most cards you plug into the PCIe, like a video card, use much more contacts. So there's usually a couple of these short contact ones available to simply plug in. Quick and simple procedure to open your computer, slide it in, done. So when you get to the ASICS site and bore your way down to the drivers, this is the selection of drivers that you'll see. Another point in passing, most of the websites seem to say that this card, or advertise this card as being suitable for Linux, but they don't often mention that it's quite compatible with Windows as well, so don't be put off as long as you get this particular version of the card. And be aware, it's not actually the latest version of the card you can get, but it's the one that seems to be available, being dumped, I guess, all over the internet these days. So now we've got the card fitted, and we switch the computer back on. And the next thing to do is go to the Start menu for Windows 11, right-click on it, and find Device Manager. So if you go into Device Manager, you'll now find that you'll see this here, the parallel port is found, but it actually won't have, we'll have a problem because it has not yet got the driver. So the thing to do is, once you've downloaded that driver, of course, is to run it, and it will put the driver in, and then it will start looking like this without the yellow warning at the end of it. Okay, so we go in to Properties. So by double-clicking or clicking on the parallel port, we get to this page here, and we can see now the device is working properly. First thing we'll do is go here and look at the port settings. Right, all I did here was enable the click this enable here to get what seems to work. And then the next thing we have to do is we go here to resources. Now, the thing you'll see here is this is the address range that the card uses, and it was different on the older PC buses. It would have been 0375 for LPT1, sorry, 0378 for LPT1. The number we've got to write down and remember here for future reference is DFF8, that first number. On your machines, it may be different. Okay, and that's it. We're kind of set up and ready to use a parallel port on your Windows 11 PC to go on with the next process. So now the last bit of the hardware you need. We need to buy this E-prom blower card. They're available readily from many places on the internet. You can see I bought this off eBay Australia, and the price has since dropped actually. That's the way it works. But it's a bit more expensive than some of them because it comes with that parallel cable, or it's a parallel printer cable, which is absolutely necessary. It's the one that does the data transfer from the computer to this card. So that's the comms that it uses. You can see there's a USB printer cable as well, which are fairly common. You might have one. That plugs into the USB socket. You can see there. You can see it on the silk screening. It's not used for communication. You've got to understand it's just for the 5 volts. That allows you to read E-proms that are in either any of these sockets. You can see it came actually with some extra headers that plug into other of the sockets you can see there for all sorts of other types of E-proms from later machines. Anyway, the big ZIF connector there takes the E-prom that the Heidenhain TNC 155 has. So that's nice. So you can see there's also an E-prom extractor. You don't need it for the zero insertion force plug here, but you may need it to pull out of the motherboard on the Heidenhain. Okay. The other thing is that if you want to blow E-proms, the 5 volt USB is not powerful enough. For the particular 27512 that the Heidenhain uses, you need at least 12 volts. So you can see there's a power socket for a 12 volt DC power supply. It takes a 5.2 millimeter plug on the power supply, and that will let you blow the E-proms with the Heidenhain. Okay, so that's pretty much the end of the physical stuff, and let's get on to doing the actual software you need to run all this. Oh, and one more thing. If you look at the silk screen down the bottom on the PCB, you'll see that it says PCB 5.0T. You need to buy the 5.0 version. There's a later version that's more expensive. But this one's at a better price point. My one actually says 2025, so they're obviously still making this particular version. And it works well with the software application that we'll get onto now. Okay, now to run this card, you need to download some software called Willem E-prom Programmer for Windows. And it's available all over the place and in a lot of different revisions that don't work. But the one here does. So what we're looking for is down here. You click on this guy here, and you'll get the version 98D12C14, and that's the most up-to-date version I've been able to find. So simply download it and run it. And what you'll find is that when you run it, connected to the card, can't read because it has a hardware problem. Okay. Now there's quite a lot of other things here, and in these comments, when you translate them, you'll find that you use various of these for older versions of Windows, but it doesn't work in my case. But there's one of the commentators here, or commenting people here, has worked out that if you download this one and run it, it works. So that's what I did, and sure enough, following the example, the commentary on how to do it, which I'll get to next. So download this thing and unzip it to any directory you like. Now you've extracted the file to a directory, go to it and copy a folder called Win32. Go to your C drive and the program file is 86. And down inside, if you've done the default install of the Willem program, you'll find it's installed in a directory called E-prom 50. And all you do is copy that Win32 directory into E-prom 50. So it appears as a subdirectory. So now you go up here to here and run this install driver exe, and the Willem software programs all ready to run. Okay, now we've got the Willem E-prom program up and running. The first thing we do is we'll come over here and we'll click on this guy, and we'll put in here this DFF8, which was the memory bus offset for my personal computer. Okay, click OK. So the patch that we put into this software is fixed up this being able to be adjusted without any more mucking around. The next thing we can see is this is set wrong. This is the wrong device. So we'll click on it, come across, and you can't actually see it, but I'll go down and pick the 27512. Okay, so there we are. We've got the right chip. And what it does is it gives you here the settings for the dip switches along the bottom of this the card. You set these dip switches correctly for it to read the particular 27512 chip. Okay, so now we'll push over here, read the chip, go, and there it is. It's extracting all the information out of the chip. Fairly quick, so it's just reading. Okay, so now we can go and see what we've got. And so there you see whatever was in the chip, the E-prom from before. I don't really know what it is, it's just junk. And more or less, there you have it. You're reading the memory in a 27512 E-prom chip. Okay, here you can see the board all set up. The USB power supply here. The parallel port connected to the computer here. All the dip switches set according to the graphic on the Willem software. The correct E-prom. It's not been erased. It came with a little spare piggyback card for other types of chip, and you can see there's a couple there. There are places here to set the voltages for the various types of chip, and you can see it's got power from the USB, but it's not got the power supply for the 12 volt, the peak power thing here. This lamp here is the programming lamp, so I'll just push the button and you can watch that lamp go off when I start the read process. Okay, sorry, now it's reading. You see it come on properly. And that's it, it's done. So that's the whole thing in a nutshell. Thank you for watching.